Hi, it's Kylie Coo. Welcome to my studio and welcome to week 48 of creating a positivity deck. This is the final week in the gratitude state of being, and the prompt for this week is another element, and it is earth. And I suspect that a few of you already knew that that one was coming. So earth for me, I think about planet Earth, I think about home, I think about source. For me, the earth helps me feel grounded. And of course, the earth helps provide and helps give us nourishment through the food that comes from the earth. And when I think of earth, I also think of roots, and again, that's kind of connected to grounded for me. So here I am looking through this little set of watercoloured paper that I'd done quite some time ago, way last year, and I've used some of these a couple of times. And I'm just looking for one that, in a sense, reminds me a little bit of planet Earth. I hadn't set out to use these, but when I was going through my box, I saw they were there and just felt that that might fit nicely. While I pick one and then just adjust it a little bit, just let me say thanks very much for all your well wishes. I have had quite a bout of flu and cold, but I'm okay. Just one of these things, a kind of seasonal thing, and it will run its course, but definitely starting to feel better. My energy levels had been low, but I'm getting there. And hopefully within the next week I will get up to date on replying to comments and that sort of thing. I am ever so grateful for all the kind comments that people leave, and I do like to reply to them all. But I think when my energy levels are low, it's sometimes just a case of resting. So I hope you don't mind. That's what I've been doing. Although at the moment I seem to be having quite a busy time as well. So you see, today isn't a terribly long video, and I think again that's just a case of me just taking my time, working away, enjoying making my card and doing it with intention. So in a moment I will use some matte medium to put that down. I then want to stamp that tree image. Now, in hindsight, I might have been better to have the kind of planet Earth down the bottom and then the tree sitting on top of it, but it's just where the card took me today, so as always I am fine with that. So at the very end of the video I will show you the 12 cards for the gratitude state of being. It's quite a good exercise looking back at them, because sometimes I forget about individual cards. Every so often I'll flip through them, but sometimes I forget about individual cards, and it's only when they're all together I see the kind of road travelled, I suppose, during this particular state of being. Now there will be one other state of being to follow this. I won't say just now what it is, I'll let you know next week, but obviously it's a shorter one. There'll be 4 weeks worth of that, and then that will be this particular deck of cards complete. So I'm just dabbing that into place, just pressing it down. I've just got a piece of paper towel there, just pressing it down and into place. Now I should have given this a bit of time to dry, but I didn't. And I think also the matte medium is at the end of the tub, and for some reason it didn't seem quite as tacky or as, kind of sticky, but as always we get there in the end. So just using some black StazOn with this tree stamp. And I'm going to press down really firmly, because that piece of paper does kind of stick up a bit. It was a piece of watercolour paper, I think, so it was quite thick. So I'm going to press down really quite heavily. And the tree for me just represented that notion of roots and being grounded. And of course, when I think too of earth, I also think of the harvest, the card that I did a few weeks ago. And thinking now about how the earth is actually starting to rest a bit, certainly here in my part of the world. Though I'm quite taken aback that we already have some spring bulbs starting to come through. I think that was probably just because of the very hot summer that we had, and they've come on quite quickly. But I think as we approach winter and get into winter, they will go back a little bit. So when I stamped that, I actually lifted the circle a bit, and that was because I hadn't let it properly dry. So I'm now just going to try and take a little bit more glue, or the matte medium anyway, and put it under here. But in a moment you'll see that I lift the whole thing. I decide that I really need to cover the whole thing again. As I say, I don't know if it's because that particular matte medium is losing its kind of tackiness, or perhaps because that was a thick piece of paper, it's maybe just absorbed into it. So I just lift it here, add a bit more of the matte medium to it, and it gives me the chance to just kind of reposition it a bit closer down to that bottom half of the trunk. And again, I'll just try and push that firmly into place. So part of me can't believe that we are at week 48 already, and in some ways it seems no time at all since I started this deck of cards, and it's been quite a journey really. But still 4 weeks to go after this one. So I'm now just taking this black gel pen, and I'm just going to add in some little bits of detail, making sure that the top half and the bottom half are kind of connected there. It's stamped differently on the top and the bottom just because of the different types of paper and surface. So just kind of drawing in the ground there, and then I'm going to start to draw in some roots. Again, just bringing out that notion of being grounded. And thinking about that absolutely amazing ecosystem that lives underneath the earth, and all the little creatures that inhabit down underneath. And just bringing out some of the branches on the tree, just filling it in ever so lightly. Again, this was almost a meditative type practice, just drawing those simple lines to represent the roots. Now I will ground the outside edge of the card just with some of the black StazOn ink. Then I'll take another gel pen in a blue, and it's got a bit of sparkle to it. I'll take that and I'll add in just a little bit of detail here and there, and then I simply write the prompt. The word for this week, earth. And there we have it, week 48 complete. So I hope that you'll join me again next week when we will do the final state of being. So thanks very much for watching. Bye for now.